Remains to be seen because we've only seen Voltic on, payload or hybrid kind of maps or escorts. So this would be the first time we're seeing them on King of the Hill tonight. So we'll see. But we've clearly seen how good they are on dive. So I'm not particularly worried.
I actually really like our map pool that we have for this one as well. We have Lijiang and King's Row, and if it goes to a round 3, we'll have Dorado as well. These are definitely some maps that I feel are the breadest of the bread and the most beautiful butter. Like, this is a very nice piece of toast that we have here. It's because we have, it's pretty much the most some of the best, most straight up maps from all of the game modes besides Dorado, of course. But it's still gives teams a wide variety of comps that they can play. So if a team is just like a one-trick dive, they're not going to be able to do one-trick dive the entire time and win. Looking out there, we do have 2 Pharahs. Let's see if Zoker or Voil are going to roll the skies. Yeah,
Zoker looked like they were going to go to the Mei, but definitely a good change to swap off of that. We're already seeing getting a nice kill onto Paragon. Yeah, Mei wouldn't have been able to contest against Voil's Pharah, so and with a Mei and a Tracer, that would have been free reign for Pharah to go off. But so far, things are looking very well for Full Send. Voil finally does get on the board, but it's the only one to do so from Voltic, an entirety of Full Send, and just collapsing onto the point now, getting kills. But it's Ice, who's been doing so much work in this tournament so far, staying alive on the point, finally sought out by Sinker, and this should go the way of Full Send on the first completion.
Yep, we saw the first pick come out in favor of Full Send. That definitely gave them the advantage they need. Spawns are essentially, well, the exact same. There's no such thing as spawn advantage here on King of the Hill. It's pretty much just straight up team fights, and the first pick was really one of the big deciders of that one, with Paragon going down here. Looking around, though, we do see a push coming out once again. Looks like the left bridge will be the location of choice for Voltic as they do go on in here. Rockets going out left and right. Aino getting taken down first after having essentially nothing to be said for his death. Sinker going in deep, finding Paragon as well. Losing 2 like that is a very, very bad way and to lose it, to play a team fight. And now falling back, Ice going down as well. Now, Zoker trying to win against Voil from this long-range rocket fight, but it's probably gonna be mostly ineffective, just spacing rockets. Very good team fight, though, for Full Send.
Yeah, from Zoker, he used the concussion blast to knock Anhu off the bridge, forcing him to use his shift cooldown. That means he couldn't get out of the front line once he dove in to stay alive, and he got melted. And another one, he forces him with the boop, get Paragon with the kill as well. Diva Bomb's not going to connect, though, but Zoker's still doing a ton of damage and disruption on this bridge, but has to watch out. Voil's behind them with Claw Death in the pocket, trying to do some damage, but a Badger with the double boop, getting the mech and hero. So 1 kill, but 2 for 1 there, 2 birds, 1 stone, and then Zoker also getting Claw of Death as they fall back. Full Send is looking absolutely dominant on the first round on Lijiang Tower.
And it just looks very, very cool and collected as well. I think they might have only, they only used the Diva Bomb, but they still got 5 ults waiting in the works. And they're just able to use the environment to their advantage as much as they can. So much value. Again, use the concussion blast, making sure that all of the resources are gone from these tanks. They're now forced onto the point with very little resources. This is a pretty straight fight, though, and the pulse bomb from Sinker not doing too much. The sound barrier from Badger keeping everyone nice and alive. Paragon does not have their own sound barrier yet. Rocket barrage inside from Voil, just ringing the dinner bell. Is currently, though, Claw of Death is able to revive Voil with that Valkyrie suit that is now active. A lot of ults being popped from both of these teams. Joker, the only one left after the dust is settled, but they do not keep their life, so no rocket barrage is coming out for Full Send here. Diva Bomb from Voltic being able to secure the point a little bit more. They are currently in control of it at the moment, but a lot of resources are flowing to the door. Ice finding a lot of value on this Tracer, trying to do what they can. There is the remeching Iron onto the point, and now Zoker going to the point again, just going and mashing that Q button, getting a couple of kills right off the bat. They do eventually die, but not before they bring 2 or 3 players with them. It might not be enough, though, with Volt. Volt simply able to, with that Pharah Mercy pocket, just one-shot and deal so much damage with these rockets. They're still fighting over it, though. A huge contestation coming out, and it's gonna keep on staying there with Anhu on the Primal Rage. Looks like Ire on the point, though. I'm seeing a lot more blue than red at the moment. Full Send might have done it, but look at this. Ice is still fighting for his life, bringing 2 with him before he dies. But Zoker is able to kill Hero, finally clean the point off. A huge stagger from Voltic was the attempt that was made, but Full Send eventually taking it.
That fight going absurdly long, and I think a lot of it came down to just Zoker being Well, it felt like a absolutely. I think a lot of that came down to Zoker just not going down as quickly as he needed to, and you do have to divert those resources to taking out those airborne opponents, especially when most of your team is focused on killing grounded-based opponents. So, with Zoker up in the air, constantly raining down kills and having the Pocketed Mercy, those are two high-priority targets you have to take out. And with a Pharaoh of your own, plus, you know, ground-based characters that are just looking for those targets, if you're not getting those kills quickly, they're really racked up, and it was great for Zoker to do so. Now he's switching over to the Genji. I'm going to use those walls to try and get in and out of and slip out of line of sights.
Yep. Chase for our boys over on. It's going down. Well, Voltic is feeling pretty good about this for now, but Paragon is able to get the river, but trading their life for Claw of Death. A very, very awkward push here, a contest on the point. Voltic able to easily push their opponents off, get that points. What a strange dive.
Yeah, it was Anhu by themselves, diving on the Zenyatta, which sure, fine, but he gets killed too, and a pretty good trade, but without the Winston there to continually dive on you, you have to wait. You don't actually have a real dive left with your Winston down, so a really early loss in that fight, and Anhu again has to be careful of using and burning these cooldowns too early before the fight really gets going. Ice, though, slipping in over the wall behind and lands the Pulse Bomb on Azuma, and now they're looking for more, but it's Zoker instead who gets 3 off the blade, finding the most squishy targets possible, and helping demech this diva. Anhu goes to the reset, but wow, great job there by, yeah, they're gonna get the stagger onto Hero, who's desperately trying to get out.
Her back. This is ridiculous. So much percentage gain. When Hero starts to go back away towards their team, she is killed, but that was about like 10% or so that was gained just from that stagger. Huge rally from that for a full send. The dives from full send, obviously they're able to play defense, they have a bit of an advantage in that regard, but the dives just seem like they're a lot more cool and collected. We saw that in round one, Voltic playing much more aggressively, but not finding too much value for it. They are now able to get that attack fires off, but a lot of it is mitigated by the sound barrier. Actually, eventually killed by Fitz during the sound barrier, or during the attack visor. They're actually diving up on the high ground to try and bring more people with them. Will be not finding too much Paragon going down as well. Claw of Death retreating away, trying to run away from the dive. Will be finished off by Iron during all this. There's a huge push into the enemy spawn going on right now, as eventually they're like find a couple of kills in Hero, Anhu, and that Zenyatta, then just pull on back. That was really, really aggressive, and it's like Voltic knows exactly what they can get away with.
Yeah, they're almost making this look too easy here. Iron getting a kill onto Paragon, and now they're falling up onto the point. Both monkeys raging with Primal. But let's see who can get these kills. It's going to be a Transcendence coming out from Fitz to keep his monkey alive. And Iron and Zoker also getting on the board as well. Iron has the Valkyrie Mercy in their sights and just constantly putting pressure on them, forcing the Valkyrie Mercy just to slip and slide away up on the roof. Does get the res on the Anhu somehow though, but Iron is still, and Mech is still firing away and softening up these targets for Sinker, who picks up 2. Great job. That's going to be a Lijiang Tower pick here for full send. They're up 1-0 in the semifinal set.
That's a little worrisome for our boys over on Voltic. King of the Hill is definitely one of those game modes that, because it is just straight up fights, I feel as though it is pretty telling of a team's mechanical skill a lot of the time, and just losing with not 1 but 2 100-0s here on Lijiang, which is mostly considered to be one of the more well-balanced King of the Hill maps. That is very, very bad for Voltic. And King's Row, another one of the more straight-up maps, is coming out next. There aren't too many tricks that Voltic can pull off to actually like put full send through a loop. I'm very worried what Voltic can actually do here.
I think a lot of this comes down to the tank lines. You can see distinctive differences between the two. On the side of full send, their tanks are sticking with their squishies, their backline, and keeping them alive, and they're putting on pressure for whoever dives on them, like Anhu. We saw Anhu diving onto the Zenyatta on that one point, and that one fight on the point, and then getting melted immediately. The problem is that Anhu and them, they're jumping in and being too aggressive and leaving the rest of their team behind and can't actually support them. Whereas the blue team, we saw full send, they're not sending their tanks to be super aggressive. They're allowing Zoker and Azuma, Zoker and Sinker to do all the work for them and create the space so that the tanks and the rest of the team can push on in. Whereas we saw too much aggression from the side of Voltic. So when those tanks went down, it's super hard to keep the rest of your team alive when your tanks are already down. Whereas if you lose a Genji or a Tracer, your team can still stay alive, even though there may be less damage coming out. So it's a big difference in those tank lines. And I think what I would like to see more from Voltic is just being a little more cautious with who's going in, and where I was just, instead of just throwing the Winston in every time and hoping it works out.
Yeah. So and as well, we saw Voltic's aggression work against 200 MG. They were able to inspire a lot of chaos, especially in that Gibraltar round. To say like, oh well, we'll just always be really aggressive and just be really weird a lot of the time. And 200 MG definitely in the second round were put through a loop. But here we're seeing what the proper response that is. Full Send always just peeling back, saying, yeah, go ahead, dive in. We're going to force out all of your resources of your tanks. And if they do become aggressive, we're going to make sure that our own flankers will be playing properly and our tanks won't die. So you're suiciding your tank to accomplish what we can do without any sort of sacrifice, which I liked a lot from Full Send. Hopefully Voltic are able to identify this and maybe play differently. But here on King's Row, they're not even playing dive, so this is gonna be a different kind of match and playstyle entirely. Let's see who's gonna win it here in this King's Row match. Voltic still in the red, Full Send in the blue. Voltic attacking.
Yeah, Voltic going out first. We're seeing Voil switch back off to the Doomfist, though he's still sitting in spawn. He's hiding it. He doesn't want the enemy team to see, so once his team is pushed up a little bit, he's going to do something. But unfortunately, Zoker gets a kill on Anu, so it looks like he might be reconsidering that. Still has not shown himself to the enemy team here. Full Send has no idea they have a Doomfist yet. Now finally he's going to jump out and try and jump in, but I'm not entirely sure what kind of leverage Doomfist will be able to get here. Zoker is already at 70% here on the Riptire, and they have full control at this point and don't seem to be moving much from it.
Voil definitely is the trump card. He's now going to be going on in, looking for some picks here. Fitz getting focused down and dying immediately. That means a lot of shots going to Voil. He is knocked solo and then killed. Badgers will getting that revive. This push not working at all for Voltic. They've managed to get their way onto the point though. Izuma going down as well. So as I say that, they do lose their main tank, their big ability to get onto this point. Fitz going down. Zoker is eventually using the Reptile, taking down Ice, is able to get that 76, but Sinker getting that kill as well. That Voil just sort of dive, just open up this point, but now Izuma being back, he is able to walk back onto the point, going in for the contest as well, alongside a Valkyrieing Mercy and a very, very angry Iron, but the Graviton keeping Iron out, and while that Graviton going off, the fight going completely in favor of our attackers on Voltic. The Badger doing what they can, contesting as long as they can. There's only so long that Valkyrie is going to last, even pulling out their pistol saying, my friends are dead, and sadly, so am I. 5 minutes now on the clock after a very successful push from Voltic. Definitely showing a lot of patience that we didn't see in round 1.
I like that Voil went like super deep for that first pick, because that's what really got the ball rolling. And even though he went down, I believe there was a res that got back up onto him, but it disrupted the entire tank line of Full Send. They really didn't know how to position themselves, because once the Doomfist got back into the fight, they had to deal with him in the back line, and that allowed Anhu to just set up onto the point, keep the shield up, and make things really safe for the back line, and get the full capture.
A lot of chaos inspired from that. We do see some flank on the front though. Huge Earthshatter for our attacking Reinhardt Anhu. That is a very quick team fight. When you have a team like this, Zarya, Doomfist, Reinhardt, when you get knocked down, you can be sure a lot of damage is soon to follow, even going as far back as the Stagger Iron. And now the flanking Junkrat that was from behind, well, he's getting finished off as well. Probably not the greatest play, but it wasn't his fault. It was because that was a brilliant play from Anhu.
And honestly, that wasn't, we can't even downplay that. Voil got an uppercut to knock Azuma into the air, and then Anhu slipped the Earthshatter under the shield. Yeah, that was a crazy 1-2 combo, which was so hype. I had to point that out. And then Anhu putting Azuma on their back with that charge. Fitz has to pop the Transcendence, and now a Graviton to follow up on that. But the shield is ready from Anhu. No kills coming out, as well as Claude throwing down their own Transcendence. And now Azuma and Anhu both trading, but Voil in the back, or Ice, he has the visor all the way in the back, but there's no line of sight to get onto this. And then the Riptire is found onto him from Zoker. The Graviton locking the rest of the teams on the choke point, but that finally dissipates. And then Sinker going for the high noon, but that's blocked. Ice picking up Iron, but Paragon slips in with the res, and now he's back upstairs supporting Ice, who has the kill onto Fitz with a headshot, and that's going to walk that payload in just in time. 4 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock.
That was looking to be pretty close, but definitely Paragon with that Valkyrie suit finding a lot of value with that, getting just constant revives onto those beefy players, saying, oh yeah, you just dealt 400 damage, well, it's back up and ready to slap you again. Wow, though. 4 minutes, 15 seconds on this push. A very successful push so far for Voltic. They've had a lot of cheeky strats and that full set have not quite been able to work with. Now using a Widow. Singer trying to make sure they can shoot Boyle out of the air as well as Cloud. No picks around from it quite yet. And Zoker, the other DPS, finished off by Iced. So these DPS not contesting well with the aggression from Voltic.
Yeah, this is risky because they don't have those two presences on the payload itself, but Sinker is making up for it, picks up 2 with ease, looking for the grapple, doesn't get it. But yeah, but with the Widowmaker and the Junkrat, that's just a lot of nonsense damage you really got to deal with here. And now they're pushing up, really trying to eat away as much time as possible. They realize they've pulled up a little too far. They're going to push back. But Sinker again picking up Ice, taking advantage of now this big lane they've bought themselves on the first turn. So now that the payload is back behind them, they can hold this with the help of this Widowmaker.
And you know, this Widow Junk actually does make a little bit of sense. You know, the Junk has a silly amount of DPS, and once that shield goes down, Singer just has open season on not only the tanks, but the people behind the tanks. We saw Singer get the kills on Zarya and Reinhardt earlier. That was because of that. But the Riptire, finding Boyle as Boyle tried to find the source of that Riptire. He's able to get that kill, and now aggression coming out from Coulson, pushing back Voltic back towards their spawn. They know they cannot take this fight. They're just going to reset. And a lack of picks, those Widow shots not quite finding the targets will allow Voltic to do just that.
I don't know what Anhu is doing upstairs by himself, but he's trying to fight this Junkrat. Yeah, I guess he was trying to flank a little bit and then found himself locked on the stairs. Falls back anyway, but yeah, he does have the Earth Shatter, but his team is going down before he gets to use it. Paragon gets the res. Here comes the Graviton from behind. Now, Anhu, even if he gets the Earth Shatter, it's not going to matter, but the follow-up is non-existent. The block from Azuma onto Anhu's Earth Shatter, and then the responding Earth Shatter puts Anzu on their back, but that's it. Zoker and Azuma do get kills the follow-up, though. Ultimates were burned, but it's just raw kills that come out from these primary fires and swings. No need for all of them. Then the Valkyrie, just for good measure, just in case. There's the team kill, thank you. And that's going to hold this payload at 2 minutes on the clock right at this first quarter on the third phase.
Definitely a game of ults right there. We saw the Valkyrie suit as well as, which a lot of the ults are signaling, yo, go aggressive. It's time to go right now. And full send, they're definitely just playing, I would say very, very mechanically. They're able to now that Voltic is out of tricks, they're just handling this beautifully. And now look at this, the DPS Sinker and Zoker just constantly being able to win out against the opposing DPS. It's kind of as simple as that. And now with a lot of the ults from both teams expended, there's a slight advantage for Voltic, but Full Send is approaching that Earthshot, and we've seen what Azuma can do with that.
It's going to be hard, though, because Voil and Ice are sitting on their DPS ultimates, and we don't have a Transcendence waiting from Fizz, so that Blade could do a lot more damage than they could possibly afford on the side of Full Send. And Voltic now has to worry because here comes Voil going in. The Earth Shatter, though, putting Hero and Anhu on their backs while the Blade goes in deeper, but Voil only gets one onto Zoker. So that's not a good trade there. And now Azuma falls himself back. Hero throws down. There's the grab. Picks up everyone in his iron. And that's another full wipe. And Fitz is now waiting on the Transcendence for this next fight. They have less than a minute on the sides of Voltic to do something. But they're going to be going into a very, very solid defense with the Transcendence. And then possibly a Valkyrie as well on the side of Badger.
Azuma, Iron, and Zoker are working so well together. It's been absolutely great to see all game. Just the synergy between those three players, just making sure that those tanks are always down, and oftentimes winning a lot of the tanky tank fights on the front. Fitz finding Iced as well. The Zenyatta, of all things, getting the kill on the Tracer. With 25 seconds left, there is not enough time for a respawn. They're trying to fall back, trying to make sure that they can just maybe get a respawn. The card is pretty far up, after all the way back practically to the second checkpoint, but because the card is so far back, it does let them to wait for that reset to come back out. 10 seconds left. They gotta fight on the cart right now. Voltic does. They're trying to peek out from these little doorways. Not gonna be working. Overtime now is gonna be called. Zoker finding Paragon in the back line. Riptire will be going in back. That can go right through the trance right there. will be going around finding that Widowmaker and Boyle as well. And now Zucker will officially be killed for that, but is that going to be enough? The Graviton going just on Hero. Every ult used by Full Send does not need to find any value at all with them, even just a little bit of congratulatory, or sort of taking down Paragon. Overtime ticks down, and with 43.65 meters, the round ends. And I gotta say, Full Send, that felt pretty good for them.
That's an understatement, Seal, for sure. The Full Send just
pretty alright.
I really gotta say though, the change to Widowmaker was key. I was a little hesitant, but because that's a commitment. But at the same time, it really isn't, because if it starts losing, you can just easily change characters. You're already there at your own spawn on the third phase as defense, so it's not a huge risk. It's a pretty solid investment, and as we saw there, a huge reward. They took an amazing advantage of that long lane before the first corner, and that granted them a ton of kills, granted a ton of room for their tanks to stay alive, allowed the Junkrat of Sinker just to throw down kills, and I mean Sinker just of Zoker, that is Sinker just absolutely killed it there for sure.
Are we gonna see a Roadhog? I want the Roadhog.
I know you got a ton of hours on Roadhog here, so
one trick Roadhog.
I know you want to see that for sure.
I want to see it, and this is actually, I think, the comp that I've heard him work on. You should replace the Zoker with a 76, and I think I've actually heard about this one. We'll see if they actually play. It's definitely a beefier comp for Full Send, and with a team like them, that's a little bit slower, a little bit more defensive, a little bit more mechanical. I actually wouldn't be surprised to see this. Meanwhile, though, on the defense, the comp that we'll actually be seeing is going to be Boyle on the Junkrat, Hero on the Zarya, Anu Rhine, Ice 76, Claw of Death on the Zenyatta, and Paragon on the Mercy. So nothing too crazy coming out here. What do you think Voltic can do in here in defense? Because they had the little trick for Voyle on the high ground to initially get their aggression going, but after that, they kind of petered off.
I think, honestly, they need to keep Voyle alive as long as possible, and that's going to be very hard, considering the pick potential that we have with Sinker on this Roadhog, and then Zoker even going to be able to put on a lot of damage from this Junkrat as well. So I like this because the triple tank just makes things so sustainable for this push, but Voyle picking up Fits already, making it look easy. That forces the res out. But Claw of Death actually finding Iron, so they're just inching their way towards this payload a little bit, but losing numbers as a result on the side of Full Side. Yeah, Sinker picks up Anhu. Hero just tried to put a little pressure. He's like, no, I'm not going to commit and lose my life as well. But yeah, Sinker going to be able to get these picks here with the hook, and then getting them into the line of fire of Zoker. That's going to be the key here for this team.
It's almost like losing an early. Remember, it doesn't really matter because they're able to get. I keep saying the spawn advantage is so important. The first tick being found here by our attacking team. Full Speed pulling this very well. Now, because Izuma's shield is very, very weak. I hear Ripstar coming in from the left side. Izuma can do nothing about it. No support for him. He's not gonna be able to get back here in time. Another cart. Excuse me. The point has been reobtained now by Voltic, forcing Full Seed back. Sticker not quite find the hook seed, going down as well to the Claw of Death. And now this push definitely peters off with reinforcements of bullets that come back.
Seal, you're seeing the contrast here. We have Voyle staying up alive, and look, he's already gotten a Riptire. He's got a bunch of kills. He's on his way to a second Riptire. And on the other side, we had Sinker going to Roadhog and getting the hooks, but no kills coming out. So because of that, Sinker switched over to the 76.
Yeah, Zoker trying to do some 1v1 Junkrat battles, doing a very good job of making sure the hotel is inaccessible as possible, forcing now Full Speed just go and attack from the front with practically no cover. 76 is firing above ground on the low ground. The shield war definitely going in favor of Anhu. That shield looking very strong. The Riptire going in for the backup. Zuma will be fine with a very nice fire strike though. Zoker going the higher now to try to contest that 76, falling back. Now the Graviton though, finding a lot of players on the low ground. Paragon dying during their Valkyrie. The trans a little bit too late. Now look at this, the Riptire from Zoker going right with the trans as well. The ult usage from Full Speed is just astounding. The second tick being able to easily be claimed. That was just like textbook beautiful just mechanics from Full Speed, knowing exactly how the mechanics of their ults would work and able to oust Voltic away from the point.
Yeah, Full Send firing on all cylinders there. Iron with a perfect Graviton, and then the rest of the team just following up and getting all the necessary kills. And you're right, they got a very swift payload. They're just about 4 minutes in the bank, now counting down from there. And they don't have to get the full completion here. They don't have to get all the way. So that puts a little less stress on their shoulders going into this next phase. Not only that, but they're getting close to a bunch of ultimates. Azuma now has the Earth Shatter, and it's going to be a little 1v1 here between Anhu and Azuma to see who can get the fatter Earth Shatter, especially in the second phase of King's Row. That's where you want to see it because it's essentially made for those fat Earth Shatters.
There's a lot of pressure in Voltic.
Oh, no.
Earth Shatter finding a few, but not quite enough. Zinger,
there's our winner.
Is going to be dying, but the Graviton in the back line catching a lot of players, including Paragon once again. These Gravitons from Iron have been so good. They will eventually be killed in revenge, losing all that Zarya charge, but that's the only downside of this fight for Full Send. They're able to keep this cart rolling on, and Voltic taking only one single fight so far into the second phase, with a cart approaching that checkpoint. Voltic, they really missed opportunity about not taking fights earlier.
Yeah, not only that, but they've built up a bunch of ultimates for the other side as well. Both teams are pretty even now. Oh, man. Going in hard is Azuma with a big charge, forcing out a Transcendence from Claw, and now the double trans as well as a Visor from Ice. Everyone is popping any ultimate they possibly can. Anu, big charge onto Azuma though, and that's going to leave the front line a little weak here on the side of Full Send. They're backing up into this corner, but the spam damage onto Anhu's shield forces them back as well. And Voil now putting Zilker on their back with a big kill from Junkrat. And now things are swinging again. The momentum has shifted once more until Sinker finding Anhu a little overextended. Sinker still doing much work, and look at him on the side here again, picking up Zenyatta. He has this great line of sight, the farthest he possibly could on the second checkpoint, and no one is going up and getting in his grill, leaving him unabated. But Ice has seen him. The Valkyrie comes out, a Graviton putting Iron into place and setting him up from a kill from Ice, and Ice is still upstairs. Oh, Joker missed him with the Riptire. He has to go back and try and clean him up, but he is not in position, and Joker actually now going in, finding Boyle, both of them actually finding their targets, and then Zoker picking up the double kill. They're going to continue to chase in, looking for this Junkrat. Though he's in the back line, Azuma going to fall back a little bit. Anhu's waiting on the side here. He has an Earth Shatter, but again, Azuma has theirs as well. Now, Anhu popped their Earth Shatter first, and Azuma had the second reactive Earth Prayer. That's how we got here, but Anhu strikes first, gets it in, gets the checkpoint pin, and just 0.84 meters, the payload still has not gone in somehow, Seal.
It's going in there. It finally is. Yeah.
There it is.
So what we saw there from the side of Voltic was a complete unwillingness to take any sort of fight. Even when they were 6v3, they were not willing to push out, and even lost Anhu push out alone in the process. That was absolute, I don't want to say inexcusable, but definitely showing how, like, the mindset of Voltic right now and how almost scared they are. The count now with 2 minutes 30 left there is now approaching the final checkpoint, finding Iron with that Riptide Trance going out a little bit too late to try and push out a lot of these players, but they're already playing down with the Iron is able to get revived by Badger. Zolter still holding the high ground. The Rips are coming down, taking down Anu now. Sinker as well. The DPS of Full Send is just sending Voltic back to the spawn room in stitches. Sinker being the only death for his team, but it does not matter. King's Row being capped incredibly easily by Full Send, who once again 2-0s. Voltic, our previous winners that we saw in round 1, are taken down to the losers bracket.
I love seeing when a team just comes out of nowhere and we haven't seen them on stream just yet, and they get a big win. Full Send looking like Voltic did in the previous round. So yeah, Full Send will be moving on to grand finals, which will be a best of 5 set, I believe. Either way, it'll be absolutely nutty. Stay with us. More of the Cal monthly premieres coming your way right after this break.